Shout out to the Cows gang. I'm your host, Mr. Palmer, and welcome to the show, Victim or Volunteer. What I want y'all to do, grab the nearest couch, sit back, and enjoy the ride. What's going on, Cows gang? I gotta talk about an unfortunate situation that happened between a grandmother, a mother, and a daughter, December the 15th of 2024. So it was basically a week or a week and a half before Christmas. We're gonna go to Arizona. 71-year-old grandmother who shoots her 31-year-old granddaughter, shot in the back. Now, I know a lot of y'all like, well, why? What happened? What the f? 31-year-old daughter, her name is Larkeya Elliot, got into a fight with her mother. I believe her mother is 51 years old, physically fight. Grandmother, her name is Debra Greene-Davis, tried to break it up, couldn't break it up. She tried to call the police, and allegedly, Larkeya snatched the phone, punched her, because she didn't want her to call the police because she is a correctional officer in Arizona and she could lose her job. You know, that's domestic violence. And she went back to fight her mother, and the grandmother ended up shooting her in the back. Now, let's talk about Larkeya Elliot. She was 31 years old. She had a TikTok page. Her TikTok page is Kia22, K3YA22. And if you go on her TikTok, she posts a lot of videos talking about her blackness, showing her skin, dancing, comical. She made jewelry and stuff like that, t-shirts. It's interesting. We're gonna play a couple clips of how she got on her TikTok. Check it out.
How you got a problem with me? We don't know each other. That's how bitches are broken or haters.
Even though she worked as a correctional officer, her main goal was to end up becoming an influencer, entrepreneur. And she was also doing side hustles and stuff like that as well. But that was her main goal. Now, I don't know really the whole dynamic of the situation between the three, but the mother and grandmother was living in her place of residence. And it seems like her and her mama been having this type of domestic violence on and off. This ain't nothing new. We'll get into that a little bit later. But it seems she kind of been through the mud and finally got out of it, doing her thing, and you know. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and let the news speak more details.
Arrested on allegations of murder in the second degree.
Debra Greene-Davis made her first appearance in court today. The 72-year-old grandmother is accused of shooting and killing her own granddaughter, 31-year-old Larkeya Elliot.
This situation is incredibly emotional for the family involved. It's incredibly emotional for the community, the neighbors here tonight, and it's very emotional for the first responders who did everything they could to try to save this young woman's life tonight.
Newly released court documents reveal that Greene-Davis called 911 when her daughter and granddaughter were fighting. That's when detectives say Elliot, the granddaughter, came into the room and tried taking the phone away by punching Greene-Davis. Elliot and her mom started physically fighting again, and Greene-Davis reportedly pulled out a gun and shot her granddaughter in the back. She died at the scene.
Domestic violence, unfortunately, is prevalent.
Rachel Gatacha is the chief program leader with Chrysalis, a Valley nonprofit that helps survivors of domestic violence. Data shows Arizona has the 5th highest rate of domestic violence in the country, and unfortunately, it doesn't slow down this time of year.
During the holiday time, we always see an uptick in domestic violence cases and just altercations within families. It's a hard time being around family and the different dynamics that the holidays can bring up for people.
Gatacha wants people to know that resources and support are available to victims of domestic violence.
No abuse is ever okay, even if it is normal maybe in your family circles or your friend circles, and that you always deserve to be free from abuse and free from violence.
And if you are a victim of domestic violence or know someone in an unsafe situation, you can always call the 24/7 hotline right there on the bottom of the screen. We also have some more resources and support listed on our website, azfamily.com. Reporting in Buckeye, Emma Lockhart for Arizona's Family.
Thanks. Unfortunate situation, but what a lot of people won't talk about is domestic violence when it comes to mothers and daughters. Anytime you think of domestic violence, the only thing pops up to people's head in society is some man beating on a woman, especially a black man beating up on a woman. What they don't talk about is these mothers and daughters. You have so many mothers who despise their daughters, who abuse their daughters, kick their daughters out at 16, 17, 18. They would pimp their daughters. They would use them, take their money. They abuse them, take advantage of them. Had this rivalry for a long time. I have talked to women who say they don't fool with their mother because of what they have done, or they try to stay around their mother, but she wouldn't stop doing the same bullshit she was doing. And I'm gonna go back to a clip that I saw on Black Girl on Lost. Shout out to her. She definitely doing her thing with her documentary. Subscribe to her channel. She did a video on this influencer and she posted on her Facebook page. And this was back May 12, 2019. This was she posted about her mother. And I want y'all to check this out. Post, she said, "I couldn't choose one picture, so I picked a whole album." Man, words can't explain how much I love this crazy woman. Sometimes our relationship is like a scale. Sometimes we up or down, no matter the circumstances. You still my mama who gave heir to the throne. Now, take heed of what she said. The relationship is like a scale. It goes up and it goes down, meaning they go through a lot of shit. That means they go through a lot of turmoil, toxic, violence, verbal, physical, mentally, all the above. But let me continue. I could go on, but this not a book. So I just want to wish my lovely mother a happy Mother's Day. Without you, I won't be strong. Thank you, Tanisha Davis. That's the mother's name. Oh, and one more thing. These ladies are the link to my heart, as well as my auntie, Red Mob Lee, and my grandma, Debra Greene. I want to wish these strong, beautiful women a happy Mother's Day because they do their job better than 9 to 5. They go above and beyond. Now, it says a lot. A lot of black women don't want to admit that. When it comes to toxic relationship between the mothers and the daughter, they tend to try to point it on the father or the black man, you know what I mean? And a lot of times these daughters hate their mother, but still got the mother's hate in them. So when it comes to this situation, this young lady tried to have a good life. She allowed them to be in her home. She had no hesitation to punch her grandma. I ain't never had that mindset. I never even got into it with my grandma, let alone snatch the phone from her, punch her in the back of the head. I never ever even had a thought like that. When it comes to my mother, I never had that thought process to be fighting my mother. But at the same time, my mother wasn't a toxic mother. So what do y'all think, Cows Gang? See, I want to know, what do you think about this situation with the grandmother and the daughter? And as you notice, no father is mentioned, no uncles is just one. And people think that when it comes to having kids, all you need is the mother. And that's the biggest lie society has ever pulled. Now let's go to the comments on Black Girl. Let's see what they had to say. Now, this person says, "This is where I'm slowly disconnected from almost all my family members. We're in the last days. We don't have room for error in these days. Weep from the tears. This is the times we're in." This person said, "Why would you think it's okay to lay hands on your mother or your grandmother? If it's getting that bad, you need to leave." The other person said, "Firing at somebody from the back is not justified. That was done in anger and not self-defense. None of them should have been around each other in their relationship that was tumultuous. Now an elderly person is in jail, a young woman is gone, and the mother has lost both of her mother and daughter." Shake my head. Now I want you to understand before I continue on with a couple more comments, the daughter was fighting the mother. The grandmother was protecting her daughter. And for this person to say she shouldn't have shot her back, well, I'll let Reverend X speak on that.
You fucking income fucking poop.
Now one thing I do agree with is none of them shouldn't have been around each other because evidently the relationship has always been this toxic. This ain't nothing new. This ain't the first time. That's just my opinion. And, you know, they lost a daughter, lost a granddaughter, and that is unfortunate. Now let's continue to the next one. She was tired of fighting and disrespecting her daughter. Grandma was from a different era. She was calling the cops on the granddaughter safety, not hers. The other person said, "Why are you home fighting everyone when you can just move out?" Now, again, they talking about the daughter, Larkeya Elliot, that she should move out, but that was her place. The mother and grandmother should have moved out, you know? So you got some people saying that the grandmother didn't have to do all that. You have others saying that, you know, the family is toxic all the way around. And you have others saying that the daughter was a victim. So I gotta ask y'all, Cows Gang, when it comes to 31-year-old Larkeya Elliot, is she a victim or volunteer? Y'all tell me what y'all think. Appreciate y'all tuning in. I'm Mr. Palmer, and this conversation is over. Cows Gang, Cows Gang.